everybody, I'm Bill Sanders, and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, what I'd like to talk about is the Holy Trinity and sports watches, and that is that the Holy Trinity quote for in high horology is Audemars Piguet, Vacheron, Constantin, and Patek Phillipe. And so I thought, well, let's take a look at the sports watches. And what I want to do is that I want to look at them in a little different way. Okay, but to get started, what I'd like to do is take a look at the watch of the week. Now this this watch is just unbelievable. I love this watch. It's an FP Journe boutique edition of the Chronomètre Souverain. And this watch is the boutique edition is done in a way that's different from the usual suspects. The ones I have, for example, I have the plain version with a white dial and a platinum case. But these watches are just gorgeous. This has gold lettering, or numbers and lettering both, and all of the hands are in gold. So it's a very special watch. Also, too, if we look at the back has the gold base plates and the gold bridges. It is really a fantastic watch. By the way, this watch won the 2005 Grand Prix Award for men's watches. Not this particular boutique model, but the general Chronomètre Souverain did. And it's a very good watch. So those double barrels there are for having a constant force from about 20% to about 80%. And that way there won't be too much spring, or at the end too little spring. So they use the double barrels not to extend the time, but rather to get it so that it is right. Everything is constant. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at the sports watches, and we're going to start off with one that I'm sure that when you think of sports watches and high horology, the Royal Oak has got to come to mind. This is a Gerald Genta design, and it's the one that I'm showing. There are a lot of different variations on this, but this is the basic one, the basic as a sports watch. It was designed by Gerald Genta, and it's in stainless steel. Now, one of the things that's important, before they started having sports watches in high horology, just about everything was made out of gold and platinum. It runs on the caliber 3120, and it's a relatively small caliber. This particular model that I brought up to look at is a 41 millimeter. And some of the smaller millimeters that they have in the cases, some of the smaller cases, for example, there's one that's a 37 millimeter that's very popular, but they also have some smaller ones, and they all run on that caliber 3120, the Audemars Piguet. By the way, all of the calibers we're going to look at are in-house, so I don't even want to mention that from now on. It runs at 3 hertz, which I happen to like, but that's me. It's automatic, and the functions are hours, minutes, center seconds, and date. As a sports watch, it's identified as such. The one main thing is that it's made of stainless steel. Like I said before, they started sports watches. Everything was either gold or some other noble metal. And you can see the front and the back of the movement. The front's at the top, and you can see the date wheel, and you can see some really nice perlage. It looks like almost sort of a wave perlage. And then on the back, you have that great big old gold. I think it's 21 or 22 karat gold for the rotor on that. Okay, so that's the first one, very popular, and like I said, it's iconic. And the price on that's $17,800. Now that's a lot, but this is Holy Trinity that we're in. The 37 millimeter one cost about $1,000 less, a little even more so than that. So these are both good deals. Automatic. I mean, when I say good deals, this is for the rarefied air they live in. All right, let's go on to the next one. Now, this next one may be a surprise because Vacheron Constantin developed a watch called the Overseas, and they came out with a brand new one in 2016 with a new movement called the 5100. Okay, the this watch, the Quadrille by Vacheron Constantin, is pretty much this. Well, it's pretty much the same movement. The only difference is that the rotor, instead of gold, is made out of tungsten. And this is a watch that's sort of been, I call it the Cinderella watch, because all of the attention went to overseas and very little to this watch. But this watch is really great. When I was very excited about the new Overseas when it came out in 2016, and I ran down to the boutique in New York City to take a look at it. Well, I tried it on and looked at it, and it was okay. But boy, I tried this one on quite a little, and I really liked it, and it was about $5,000 less. Now, the thing I've always liked about unpopular watches is that people are looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at the movement, and this is the same movement as in the Overseas, in the 2016 Overseas, which is an important model. But this one I actually like better, and it was less expensive. Instead of right around 20,000, it's 16,400. But you can find these at places in like Joma Shop in condition zero. I found one for 11,850. And so here you get to me, a really top-notch watch. Now, some say, well, that's not a sports watch. Look at it. Well, it is. It actually comes with two straps. The new Overseas comes with three straps: metal, rubber, and gator, and they have that quick release. This doesn't have the quick release on it. I mean, you can put it on the kind of quick release that you find on this kind right here that the FP Journes have. You can put it on this Quadrille, but it doesn't have the new kind that the Overseas has. All right, but it does have a rubber and a gator strap. Now the rubber strap is purely sports. It's made out of stainless steel, and I like the date in the aperture a lot. I really like this watch. So as a sports watch, I would pick this one for lots of reasons over the Overseas, even though I like the Overseas. I love the Overseas. Another thing is has the Geneva seal. That is the only sports watch I know that has a Geneva seal. And it was a long time before Geneva seals were given to watches made of stainless steel. So this is really special. This is a very special watch. It's one that's overlooked. It's one I think you can find a heck of a good buy on. I mean, like you can get the same movement and save $10,000. That's a good deal. Or actually, you can get it for almost half the price of the Overseas. All right. Now, one thing real quickly, the movement was a brand new movement in 2016 when they came out with it. And so that's another aspect, but they use traditional metals and a lot of other things that are fairly traditional in mechanical watchmaking. Okay, now we go on to the final one, and this is Patek Phillipe Aquanaut 56-7AS. Now, again, a lot of time people think, well, sports watch, Patek Phillipe, let's talk about the Nautilus. Well, the Nautilus is almost $30,000 bucks. So I thought, well, let me see what this one is. And I tell you the truth, I was surprised. 18,940. It comes with a rubber strap. It's actually sort of it's made of something else called tropical something or other, and it is a very husky type of strap. All right, now, so what about this? This has the same movement as the Nautilus, just like the Quadrille has the same movement as the Overseas. The Aquanaut has the same movement as the much more expensive Nautilus. And there's some very special things about this, and this is important. The Patek Philippe makes its own hairspring and its own uh, balance wheel. That's important. Not a lot of watch companies do it. Now, in 2006, they came out with this stuff called Spiral Max in their hairspring. And it's made of something that's called Sylvanar. All of these are made up names, but it's from a crystalline silicon, okay? What it does, it allows thermal variation. It's not altered due to operations, and it's not affected by magnetic fields. Okay, now they also have something else called the Gyromax balance wheel, and it has turnable weights that are recessed into the top. If you've seen a balance wheel, you'll see all of these little weights around it, and they go in or out. These are built into the top of the wheel, and that's, again, in-house, both of those. Just by comparison, I'm wearing my H. Moser right now, and they came out with something called the PE 5000, which is a niobium titanium. Okay, now this was, I don't know when they came out with that, but it's been, no, I don't know, 10 years or so, about the same time that Patek Philippe had theirs. But they made a choice not to use silicon. They wanted to use this niobium titanium. And the reason for it was that the silicon-based in the spring couldn't be adjusted. Now, of course, they say, well, it doesn't need adjusting. Okay, I'm not going to argue with that, but the H. Moser thought, well, you could do really fine adjustments by the watchmaker, and it has the same anti-magnetic and shock-resistant characteristics that the silicon does. So, you know, there are things, these are arguments that I'm not getting into. I like them both. All right, somebody send me an Aquanaut, I'll take it right away. All right, so let's take a little closer look at the Aquanaut. This particular one is I chose the 40 millimeter one. They have smaller versions of it, and the caliber, like I said, the 324. You can see it in the through the back there. And it's a pretty thin watch. I like thin watches, and if you look at the side of that thing, it's really a neat watch. I think the Aquanaut, like the Quadrille, has been overshadowed by its big brother, the Nautilus. But I think this is a great watch. Now you say, oh, well, you know, I don't want to get this. I don't want to get something with a rubber strap. A couple $1,000 more that you can get it with the stainless steel, or you can throw on a gaiter or a leather strap, anything you want. It's got the gold rotor to it. Beautiful watch, and I think for a sports watch, I prefer it over the Nautilus, even though I really like the Nautilus. Nautilus is a beautiful watch, but hey, you know, you can save $10,000 or more on this watch, and you get a gorgeous watch. Some people don't like the looks of it. Okay, that's the way it goes. Some people don't like the looks of the Nautilus either. By the way, the Nautilus was designed by Genta, and I think the Aquanaut was as well, but I'm not positive on the Aquanaut. All right, so there we have it. There's 3 watches, and I'd really like to get your opinion on this. Now, of course, you might say, well, what about, you know, one of these other brands that have these great sport watches, or Rolex or something like that? Yeah, those are great watches. But what I'd like to find is that here on the Holy Trinity, which one of these do you like, and why? I'd be very interested to hear your comments on that. Okay, also this is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like. And until Sunday when we have our next collection review, which I think you're really going to like. This is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection.